Welcome to this Executive Explainer. Look, as busy leaders, you definitely don't need another theoretical textbook lecture on software development. You need to know what's literally blocking your teams and exactly how to fix it to protect your bottom line. So today, we're distilling true Agile principles into practical, everyday levers that actually resolve those stubborn corporate bottlenecks. We've got a tight bottom line roadmap for today. First, the software delivery dilemma. 2, metrics that matter most. 3, the 4 Agile values. 4, real-world Agile interventions. And 5, common corporate Agile traps. We're giving you the metrics, the case studies, and the risk mitigation strategies you need to use right now. All right, Section 1, the software delivery dilemma. Speed versus stability. Finding that exact right iteration length is a constant balancing act between deep thoroughness and rapid market agility. Because really, this is the core business question you face when structuring your development organizations. Which iteration cycle actually fits your business reality? Do you give your teams a massive, long runway to plan everything out, or do you force rapid-fire cycles just to keep up with the market? Take the TechNova case study from our source material. It perfectly illustrates these trade-offs. You've got Team Alpha, right? They ran an 8-week cycle with really deep, slow planning. The result? They suffered from massively delayed customer feedback and discovered new user flows way too late in the game. Then there's Team Beta. They used a rapid 1-week cycle. And while they got immediate stakeholder feedback, they struggled heavily with constant context switching and kind of chaotic execution. Diagnosing which reality your team is trapped in, that's step 1. Moving to Section 2, metrics that matter most, ROI, RCF, and TTD. Let's face it, we absolutely cannot manage by intuition. We need to measure our success with cold, hard data. As leaders, your dashboard needs to focus squarely on 2 primary drivers of process efficiency: requirement change and delivery time. Basically, you need to know exactly how often the target is moving and exactly how long it takes your team to hit it once it finally stops. So, let's quantify scope creep. Requirement change frequency, or RCF, tracks volatility. It tells you exactly how often requirements are shifting mid-sprint. Seeing a high RCF, that is a glaring red light indicator that external dependencies, or maybe just unclear initial specs, are eating directly into your budget. Now, while RCF tracks that external volatility, time to develop, or TTD, pinpoints your internal bottlenecks. Are tasks just stalling out in review? Are your developers getting blocked by bad infrastructure? TTD brings all those hidden, expensive internal delays right up to the surface. By rolling these metrics into a single executive dashboard, you can track the entire cycle, literally from an idea's inception all the way to its release. Looking at things like change lead time and RCF correlation lets you immediately spot exactly where expensive rework and requirement churn are draining your resources. Okay, Section 3, the 4 Agile values, your levers for efficiency. Agile isn't just some corporate buzzword. It's a very specific framework designed to directly improve those exact RCF and TDD metrics we just talked about. This is the foundational text from the 2001 Agile Manifesto, and it outlines an incredibly clear hierarchy of priorities for your teams. It basically acknowledges that, hey, while traditional processes totally have their place, they just can't be the ultimate priority if you actually want to remain competitive. It really requires a complete mindset shift. It's about prioritizing individuals and interactions over processes and tools. It's valuing working software over comprehensive documentation, choosing customer collaboration over rigid contract negotiation, and, crucially, responding to change over blindly following a plan. Let's dive into Section 4, Real-World Agile Interventions. We're going to look at some enterprise case studies to see how these exact principles resolve massive, high-stakes corporate crises. Our first intervention asks a genuinely dangerous question. What actually happens when your own rigid compliance actively threatens your delivery? In the Project Orion case, a massive enterprise IT team was working for a really high-stakes government client. A senior engineer discovered a critical concurrency bug right before deployment. Now, under their highly secure 3-level review process, logging those tickets and waiting for approvals absolutely guaranteed a full-blown client crisis. So what do? Well, that engineer bypassed the workflow entirely. She scheduled an urgent, impromptu 30-minute huddle with the module owners, whiteboarded the fix right there, and implemented a temporary workflow bypass. by prioritizing real human interactions over the ticketing system, they resolved a critical issue without any client disruption. It's a stark reminder for all of us. The process should serve the project, not the other way around. Our next intervention tackles a totally different nightmare. What happens when sticking perfectly to an approved roadmap results in an entirely useless product? Think about this regional NGO developing an app for health workers. Everything was planned out flawlessly, but during the second sprint, field tests revealed a massive blind spot. These health workers absolutely required offline functionality because they worked in low connectivity areas. And offline mode? It wasn't scheduled until much later in their fixed plan. Instead of triggering massive delays with traditional re-estimations and a bunch of executive approvals, they agilely tailored their process. They hit pause to review critical needs. They immediately moved the offline capability up to the next sprint. They shelved non-blocking items, and they added weekly context checkpoints. They valued responding to change over blindly following their initial plan, and it quite literally saved the product. Finally, Section 5, Common Corporate Agile Traps. These are the executive blind spots. To protect your investments, we really need to identify the fake agile habits that trick massive enterprises into thinking they're moving fast. Take a really hard look at these blind spots. Are your teams using business analysts as proxy customers instead of actually talking to real users? Are you still insisting on rigid sign-offs? Are your developers wasting valuable time on just-in-case future-proofing? These practices just mimic traditional waterfall bureaucracy while hiding comfortably behind agile terminology. And here is perhaps the biggest executive trap of them all. Tools and automation simply do not equal true agility. Buying a fancy CI/CD pipeline or spending thousands on an enterprise DevOps license doesn't magically make you responsive. The tool itself doesn't make you agile. In fact, Agile Principles 5 through 8 was a direct, undeniable call to action for leadership. You need to build projects around motivated individuals, trust them, emphasize face-to-face conversations, and maintain a truly sustainable pace for your developers. You are the one who sets the environment. The methodology merely organizes it. So, when you return to your teams today, I want you to ask yourself, are you building a truly agile organization, or are you just buying agile tools? Are your day-to-day interactions genuinely driving your bottom line, or are you just hiding behind expensive software? True agility isn't something you buy. It's how you choose to operate. Which one are you doing?